We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again.
Final messages from President Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden. It's a race not only the nation, but the world is watching very closely tonight.
And it's not only that race. We have many local races that our team is working on to keep you informed. Toledo's news leader with live team coverage all over Northwest Ohio tonight. Emma
Henderson with the Toledo City Council race. Caylee, Kirby, and Roxanne Elias talking with Democratic and Republican Party leaders.
We'll begin tonight with our Amy Steigerwald. Amy, we've just got a little over an hour till polls close. You seeing that after work crowd starting to come out?
You know, Dan, a little bit. We saw a little bit of a pickup in people, but honestly, still not that long of a line here at all. Voters walking out telling me they waited maybe 5 minutes total to cast their ballot, which is good news for those who are rushing here in the last hour and a half to get their ballots in. Now, throughout the night, we've seen the same amount just about of people. We've been stationed here since about 3:30-ish, and since we've been here, there really has not been a line. And throughout the day, we've seen lines be long at certain points and nearly non-existent at others. Now, the big question right now is when will those results come in? Lucas County Board of Election officials tell me they are not aiming for speed, rather they are aiming for accuracy. Keep in mind, 34,000 people voted early and 60,000 mailed in their ballots in Lucas County, and those will be the first set of results we see come out after the polls close at 7:30. People I've been speaking to here tell me the process for casting their ballot was smooth and quick, and while certain precincts saw technology problems throughout the day, Board of Election officials say those were quickly resolved, and many of the new poll workers this election were brand new.
I mean, when you're talking about hiccups, I mean, it's usually just small minor things like plugging in the wrong poll book to the wrong printer or something like that. And, you know, it takes them a little bit more time because they're brand new, but we had a lot of great help and a lot of wonderful people. I really can't thank the poll workers enough.
An hour and a half left. Time is running out. If you haven't made it to your precinct, you haven't casted your ballot, you have an hour and a half to do so. Keep in mind, if you are in line at 7:30, they will still let you vote. So be sure to remember that. Reporting live in East Toledo tonight, Amy Steigerwald, WTOL 11.
Amy, thank you. Lucas County Democrats are not spending time together on this huge night. Caylee, Kirby is live at the Lucas County Democratic headquarters where, Caylee, they've decided not to hold any watch parties this year.
Yeah, Melissa, you're right. COVID-19 playing a big role in that decision. I'm going to step aside so you guys can look. Completely empty room. There is no one inside except for the people making sure that this building is open for us. I am here right now at the Lucas County Democratic headquarters. And as I mentioned, COVID-19 playing a big role in how the Democrats are operating on Election Day and tonight, especially when it came down to the decision of holding a watch party or not. Lucas County Democratic Chairman Michael Ashford says the decision to not hold a viewing party was made pretty early on, and that was because they wanted to keep the community safe. Holding a gathering is, in their opinion, not the way is the way to do it. Even though they are not holding any official viewing parties, I'm told it was still a busy day for them.
Probably the busiest I've seen since 2008. People have come in. I mean, understand this, we've had a record number of over 150 volunteers that have come in to stand at polls today. We've had over another additional 100 people that have made phone banking from their homes.
Now, Michael Ashford says seeing those volunteers and the people coming out to vote today has him happy that people are engaged in this year's election. Now, coming up tonight at both 10 and 11, I will talk to Democratic candidates Katie Moline and Pete Gherkin. That will be later on tonight. Reporting live in Central Toledo, Caylee, Kirby, WTOL 11.
Caylee, thank you. In just a couple hours, Lucas County Republicans gather downtown to keep a close eye on the polls. Roxanne Elias joins us now after hearing from the party on why they believe the outcome will be in their favor. Roxanne?
Dan, it's been a long-awaited day here for the Lucas County Republican Party. You could tell the room behind me is empty right now, but in just a couple of hours, it is expected to be filled up with dozens of excited candidates and volunteers. Now, let me let you guys take a look at the previous election. We were with them during the last election back in 2016 when dozens of Republicans showed up to watch the outcome. This time around, of course, things will have to be different due to the pandemic. However, they plan to follow all guidelines. The vice chairman of the Central Committee tells me they all feel really confident about what they're hearing tonight because all of the candidates have ran really strong campaigns.
Brett Warner is an outstanding candidate for Lucas County Sheriff. He's got significant law enforcement experience as well as significant experience within the Sheriff's Department. He's run a great campaign. You know, in these time of COVID, obviously, it's been a learning experience for all of us.
Volunteers and candidates are expected to meet here at the Blarney Event Center here in just a couple of hours. They're super excited, and so they will be having the watch party here soon. But for now, reporting live in downtown Toledo, Roxanne, Elias, WTOL 11.
Roxanne, thank you. Now, voters in Toledo decide who fills the only open seat on City Council.
Emma Henderson's been tracking this race between current council member Caylee Moline and local businessman Tony Dia. She continues our live team coverage tonight. Emma, what can we expect?
Well, it's going to be an interesting race. Caylee Moline joined City Council earlier this year to replace someone who took a job in the mayor's administration. And Tony Dia started his campaign after a gunman shot and killed his son, a Toledo police officer. Now, Moline is the endorsed Democrat and is running on her background as a certified public accountant as the city is seeing major budget shortfalls due to the coronavirus pandemic. In her year on council, she also helped develop an ethics commission following the arrest of 4 city council members. Dia is the endorsed Republican. He wants to increase support to law enforcement and believes that the city needs some new faces on council who will challenge the current members and ask more questions before voting on legislation.
As a certified public accountant, I'm held to a very high standard of ethics and public trust, and so I want to translate that to the office that we hold right now.
You know, I know how to solve problems. I know that if I need a piece of equipment, I don't make that decision on my own. I go to my employees that are in the trenches.
I reached out to both Moline and Dia earlier today. Dia said, regardless of the results tonight, remember, we're all Americans and friends. And Moline wanted to spread the message that it's not too late to go out to the polls just yet. Reporting live in downtown Toledo, Emma Henderson for WTOL 11.
Emma, thank you. Now we're taking a look at more issues we're keeping an eye on for you tonight. Toledo voters, you have 2 separate income tax initiatives to consider when you vote. Issue 3 is a 0.75% income tax renewal that's been supported by voters every 4 years since 1982. That money goes to police, fire, and roadways and does not ask for any new money. There's also issue 4. It is an additional 0.25% tax that would go strictly to repairing city roadways. Both taxes would be paid by anyone who works in Toledo city limits. In Wood County is the race for sheriff. Mark Vasilishin's been serving the county for 15 years. He's working on the expansion of the Wood County Jail, and Ruth Babel-Smith is running against him. She's hoping to meet on a regular basis with community groups.
In Sylvania Township, a new fire levy. Issue 13 will address a 35.7% increase in service calls past 5 years. $1.9 million continuing levy will cost the owner of a $150,000 home nearly $100 a year. The levy would support the addition of 6 new firefighter paramedics and a second medical transport unit. Also on the ballot, a new levy for Metro Parks Toledo, a 10-year property tax levy costing the owner of a $100,000 home $70 more a year. If passed, the levy would be used in a next phase of the newest Metro Park along the Maumee River in East Toledo.
Also in Lucas County is issue 18. That is the Children's Services levy renewal. The levy would fund salaries and benefits and other operations and services. It would cost the owner of a $100,000 home about $1 a week. The current levy expires at the end of 2021.
Tonight, we're keeping a close eye on issues at polling places across Ohio and Michigan.
So far, we're only hearing of minor issues that were fixed relatively quickly. But let's get over right now to Tyler Paley, who's monitoring and tracking some of the latest developments into our newsroom. Tyler.
Yeah, Melissa and Dan, we are aware of a few polling location issues in Franklin and Greene counties that we told you about tonight at 5 o'clock. But as we said, those have since been resolved. Now, right now, there are questions concerning how quickly we may see the results. Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose says we will see an accurate number tonight beginning at 7:31, the minute after polls close, but that number will be incomplete. Definitely will be incomplete. There could be delays in reporting as well, which shouldn't concern you, but here's why.
The thing that could lead to a delay tonight is if a Board of Elections receives a large delivery of mail today. If the postal truck shows up today with tens of thousands of ballots on board, then yes, that will cause them to have a little bit longer night. But those are things that we have worked to mitigate, and we've been reminding Ohioans for weeks now to return their absentee ballots.
Let's head up to Michigan now. There's an issue we're keeping track of in Flint, Michigan tonight. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says her office has received several reports of an unknown party apparently making robocalls to spread some false information about voting. Now, we want to be abundantly clear. You have to be in line to vote by 8 p.m. tonight in Michigan in order to cast your vote. Now, we're also learning at this hour that CBS News is reporting the FBI is now looking into who's making those robocalls. Dan.
Thanks, Tyler. Not too late to get out there and vote. Polling locations, again, open until 7:30 in Ohio, 8 o'clock in Michigan. And if you're in line at those times, you still have the right to vote. So make sure you get there.
We still have you covered tonight as results begin to come in just after 7:30 or so here in Ohio, just after 8 o'clock in Michigan. WTOL 11 is covering the national, state, and of course the local races. Be sure to stay informed here on air and online. Plus, you can get a full breakdown by texting the word election to 419-248-1100. Also, if you download the app, we'll send those alerts right to you as well.